You ever notice how dating today feels more like a game than a connection? I'm gonna be honest, Gen Z's dating pool and just the whole concept of dating now is absolutely horrific. And don't get me wrong, I've had some pretty good relationships. However, they never seem to actually last long enough to become, a boyfriend girlfriend dynamic. It's never happened. And don't get me wrong, like I've had a fair share of talking stages and somewhat of a relationship in high school. But after I left high school, I just started to realize like all of it was absolutely meaningless. And I would have been better off if I just never met those people. And it's not like I did anything wrong. I was mature, emotionally stable, mentally stable, and I still couldn't seem to land a good relationship for absolutely anything. And I started to think, was it the girls that I was going after? Or was it me? And I started to realize it's really just society together making it a problem. And that could have either been social media or like your TV shows or just anything that could influence a young mind into thinking that these type of things are okay. And to be completely honest, everyone has TikTok. Everyone stalks reposts. Everyone does some weird shit online, and it all affects what happens in a relationship now. Many people in Gen Z have experienced toxic relationships, whether that's from parenting or like social media and past situationships, and it really does mess up everything. I mean, it's nothing to go through a bad situation every once in a while. Like, it's part of being human. It happens. Not everything is sunshine and rainbows, but still, why can't you just carry what you got treated like and make sure you don't treat anyone else like that? And make sure you pick someone who you don't experience that from. Like, why do we continue with toxicity and just being like,
Oh, it's cute. Just because we run back to each other all the time.
no, no, that's horrible. And not only is it bad for a relationship, but it's also bad for your own mental being. And like, you're forever going to be stuck with having partners that are just horrible humans because that's just what you're used to. So why condition yourself to, go through that again? I think it's really stupid. Well, honestly, just go through that just because of like past traumas, and I understand that. And also, like I said before, parenting. If that's the type of household you grew up in, that's something that you think is normal, and you carry that on to your next partner, and you adapt that type of lifestyle, and it's just not healthy. Like, can you imagine what type of households the future of Gen Z's kids are going to be living in? Like, it's going to be really, really bad if you don't have, supportive and kind and like communicative parents, because a lot of people are going to be emotionally unavailable to their kids. And I really fear that because that's just going to create even more and more of generational problems. And it just passes down generational trauma. And that's the things that we're trying to get rid of. And I mean, no one is absolutely perfect. However, like you got to just work with each other. And I think that's the big problem. We just don't have that type of communication. And one of those reasons are because there's an illusion of infinite options. So people just swipe instead of settle. And it really is annoying because it's like, okay, you always have to worry about someone being better than you. And a lot of people could sit there and say, oh, you're insecure, or oh, you don't trust me. But you have to understand with the way these relationships work, basically, if anyone that's, more physically attractive or they might have some sort of asset that you don't have, you're immediately going to get left just because, that person seems to be better in the moment. And I just think that's really unfair. And it unfortunately happens a lot.
You're always one DM away from being a better connection.
And it honestly sucks. It doesn't matter if it's on TikTok, Instagram, Snapchat, they all create pressure to perform a relationship instead of living one. And it just sucks, man. Something that I don't seem to understand is our fear of vulnerability and intimacy. Because, like, Gen Z grew up in a culture that rewards attachment, being unbothered, staying low key, having no feelings, being nonchalant. Like, why does that exist? It's honestly some loser activity. And sorry to break it to you, buddy, but you're a cornball. And since we're on the emotional topic, something that doesn't make sense to me is how someone can say, I'm not ready to be in a relationship until I love myself, then continue to start dating someone else or have interest in others or just show that they have interest in a different person. Like, I understand if like you want to be nice to someone and you want to reject them, but you lying to them, like that's not really fair. It's the same thing as leading on, but basically reversed. Everyone is different, in their own ways, but honestly, if you're going to be taking leadership, responsibility, and like prioritizing yourself, then prioritizing yourself and taking care of yourself should be therapy or building new boundaries or healing over someone that you've dated. And don't even bother getting into a new relationship until you're really, really ready, or don't even bother talking to anyone. You shouldn't be open on like the dating market basically if you can't even date, if we're being honest. And another topic that is really confusing to me is like the casual culture in situationships. Like, why are talking stages lasting more than 2 months? Or like, why are situationships the new norm? I mean, many prefer a connection without commitment, and I think that's actually crazy. Like emotional intimacy with no titles or expectations, and it often leads to like confusion, jealousy, and hurt without clarity. And that's why communication is so important, but also, boundaries and getting to know your partner fully. And I absolutely hate the excuse of, but we're not even dating. Why do you care? Because it's genuinely impossible to get to know someone if you have multiple people that you're talking to. And then you date the most attractive one in your eyes, and then now all of a sudden you're stuck with a shitty boyfriend or girlfriend. It just doesn't make any sense. Like, okay, cool, you have options, but here's the thing. You have 3 people on your phone that you're talking to consistently, or just snapping at that point, or just sending photos to you back and forth, or sending reels. That's not getting to know them. You didn't go on a date with 3 people to test out the waters to see how they are with you out in public, personally, and etc. So you have no idea truly who you're getting with. You only know once you realize that you fucked up or you made a really good decision and you got lucky. Because there's no way you can possibly get to know a full person by sending them snaps back and forth for about 3 months and now you're dating because they're hot. And things like that honestly is what caused overthinking and just people to have a whole analysis on humans before they even decide to talk. And that really does spark the hesitation of wanting to commit in a relationship. TikTok has turned relationships into literal content with thousands of takes on red flags, attachment styles, and what to text back. And I really think that's horrible. And I don't blame people because there's horrible others out there, like horrible people. But it's not really Gen Z that doesn't want love. It's just that many are scared of the wrong kind and they're exhausted by the wrong people. And waiting for something real in a world full of fakes is honestly it's just unfortunate. And the craziest people happen to have really high standards, and they don't even deserve it. And half the time, it's not even high standards, it's just entitlement. And where exactly is the line between that? So, like, you want so much, you have high standards of what you expect, but then you can't give it back. And I think that's where the whole gender war starts because when we're looking at more on the older side of people, they have to provide something in order to be an asset to the relationship. And if not, then they're basically amount to nothing, no matter how good they might look or what they provide. And I feel like from a man's standpoint, a guy doesn't really care about what you have, what you own. As long as you just show love, you're there for them, and you speak kindly, and it's reciprocated on both ends, then everything will be okay. And that goes for male and female. Another topic that really confuses me is like ghosting culture. Why does Gen Z do it so often? Like, why are we ghosting each other consistently and just leaving no answer to let you know that we don't like you? Why can't you just wrap it up with a chill little, hey, like things aren't really working here and I don't like it, so I think I'm gonna opt out. It's a completely fine thing to do. It's really communicative and it's more respectable. And half of that really just stems from fear of vulnerability. Like, why are we so emotionally unavailable? Or are we just cautious? And to be honest, Gen Z has been doing more harm than good when it comes to certain takes on TikTok and like social media, because we're not really helping each other out. We're just teaching each other how to be more toxic or to be the one in control of a relationship instead of controlling the relationship together versus having something, if something goes left, then you guys work together to steer it right. And I think that's really missing. And speaking of working together, what do you guys think about splitting the bill or paying for everything and what's expected now? Because I've seen a rise in popularity of bill splitting, but also I've seen it bashed because of the,
a normal tradition, but
I low-key, like, I don't, me
personally as a man, I would love to pay for absolutely everything.
if it's worth my while. Because now it's not even a guarantee that you're going to be, dating this person for a while, and it could just be a free meal pickup. And that's honestly what it is. And it's really unfortunate because before it used to be you go on a first date and you would know if you're going on a second date if that person really does like you. But now it's just like,
I'm gonna stay with this person because they buy me everything and they buy all the food and they're always supplying me with stuff. and then I end up breaking up with them when things get boring.
Are we serious?
And all of these things that you do for this person, and then they're just out here liking IG stories of someone attractive, or having a backup plan, or just multiple hoes on their phone. And it's just like, dude, like, what are we doing? And then like keeping your ex's hoodie. Are we dead ass? Like, guys, come on now. And I find it really ironic because these type of people that go ahead and just take advantage of you are still the people that are over here reposting videos about if he wanted to, he would, or if she wanted to, she would. And like, don't let him or her tell you twice he doesn't want you. And it's just like, bro, you don't know the context of the relationship. And the fact that these things are being posted instead of talked about with their partner, it just goes to show like people genuinely don't care about your feelings. And whether you're out here in love, ghosted, or watching other people be messy, Gen Z is definitely something else. And if you stayed for the whole entire video, thank you so much for watching. This is my first YouTube video. So thanks for all the support. Make sure to subscribe, leave a like, and drop a comment below of what you want to hear about next. Until next time, peace.